Datazone as a solution helps organizations build those modern data communities, that stuff that you've been talking about, by bringing these elements together. It basically helps you bring the people, the data together through shared tools to drive business insights.
Welcome to another episode of Data Strategy Unraveled. I'm your host, Kendra Reed, Principal Data Strategy Tech Specialist here at AWS. And today we're going to be talking about Amazon Datazone and learn a little bit more about what it is. If you've been watching our series in the past, we've been talking a lot about modern data community and data mesh. And so this service here really ties neatly into that. And so to really help with this discussion, I have Jorge here. Hey, Jorge, how you doing?
Hey, how are you? Pretty good here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what you do here at AWS, and also where you're joining us from, where you're located at in the country.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm based out of here, Seattle, our headquarters. So I've been with AWS for about 9 years now. So I'm an old-timer, all the time focusing on analytics. And recently I joined the Datazone team as a worldwide lead for go-to-market. So very happy to talk about it.
Yeah. Hey, we're happy to have you here because, this is one of the services that I get a lot of questions about, especially when we're, the thing around data mesh, et cetera. And this is one of those key enablers that allows that. So let's just start off with, what is Amazon Datazone?
Well, as you know, Amazon Datazone is a relatively new data management service. We just launched it late last year. And the goal is to help customers catalog, discover, share, and govern their data. So with Datazone, customers can democratize access to data while making sure that the right people and only the right people have access to the right data for the right purpose. In general, the way I explain it usually to customers is in terms of a solution that allows them to build an internal data marketplace for their organization.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great analogy there because we talk about that here as well on this channel about building that data marketplace for your data itself. And so you mentioned about being able to share data within your ecosystem. Is there certain areas or certain services that are integrated with that, with this, Amazon Data Zone, right? Is it only from S3 or can I do it from Redshift, or can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Basically, the short answer is yes, all of those. I mean, if you think about it, an effective data strategy is really a function of the data, the people and the processes, and of course, the technology, right? The tools that the people will use to make sense of that data. So Datazone as a solution helps organizations build those modern data communities, that stuff that you've been talking about, by bringing these elements together. It basically helps you bring the people, the data together through shared tools to drive business insights. So to that end, we have built integrations with a very broad set of tools to allow you to tackle different types of analytic challenges. We know different users have different skills, right? So for instance, you can use Amazon Athena to analyze data using SQL, or you can use Amazon Redshift for data warehousing workloads. For business analysts, we currently have integration with QuickSight, which is in preview. So looking forward for that to be broadly available. But also for our more skilled data engineers, we have integration with Amazon SageMaker. So they can use it for developing, testing, and deploying machine learning models.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're really integrating a lot of those key services there. So this data zone is really the one-stop shop to really get access to a lot of those data products, should you say, that are being created within your ecosystem. And you touched on something at the beginning of your response there around, the people and process aspects there, right? And that's something that we really hone in on here with this channel is around, it's not just about the technology. Technology is more so a enabler or a scaler to a lot of things that you want to do. It's really around that people and processes that you have in place. And so that kind of gets to my next question around, you mentioned, being able to give access to right people with the right data, et cetera. So what governance and compliance features are kind of built in with that?
Sure, and I apologize because we have the Blue Angels flying by here
It's
in
no problem. I
Seattle.
don't think we heard them,
Uh,
but it's fine.
okay, if you hear something, that's a problem. Well, not a problem. It's nice. We love them. Um, you were talking about modern data communities and data governance and compliance
Hmm.
features, right?
Hmm.
So, as you know, data governance can mean different things for different people, right? So broadly speaking, data governance, we view it as a practice that helps you specify and manage decision rights for accessing, sharing, and using the data, right? With that in mind, governance covers a very broad set of capabilities, including catalogs, and not talking just about the technical schema, but also business catalogs, which make sure that technical as well as business users have the right context and can understand the data. It also covers data lineage, data quality, and obviously, very important, data access management and provisioning, among other things, right?
Hmm.
But the point is that Datazone provides capabilities across all of these areas. And more importantly, Datazone also helps data professionals automate a lot of these tasks that otherwise will involve a lot of manual effort. For example, our customers usually have thousands of tables. Now imagine adding business context to all of these tables manually. Not only can take forever, but it's also very prone to errors. And that's why Datazone provides automatic generation of business metadata for column descriptions, for column names. So you can have like business friendly names and even dataset descriptions. Like you can get even suggestions on how to use those datasets. All of this is done using Gen AI. So the nice thing is that this way, our customers can leverage the latest technologies, such as large language models, to generate descriptions for thousands of tables, and all of this in a matter of seconds.
Wow. Wow. So you providing a lot of these key aspects of being able to see the quality of data, being able to see that lineage of the data, and then not only that, translating those technical names to business names so that really anyone can come in and be able to leverage that service, and doing that with generative AI. I think that's really neat there. And so all of that you're describing here is a lot of the key areas when you start thinking about data mesh and really enabling those key components, those four principles of data mesh. Is this essentially data mesh as a service? Would you say this is a data mesh off the shelf?
I mean, Datazone is certainly built around the concept of data mesh, right? In which you have a federated domain-oriented architecture, and you have basically producers and consumers of data. Now, with this in mind, Datazone incorporates publishing as well as subscription workflows so that if I'm a data producer, I can publish and basically I own my data sets and I can govern who access those data sets based on the purpose, right? And in turn, data consumers can look for them in a data portal, can understand what those data assets mean, and they can complete an approval workflow so that data owners can approve or deny. So this is the way we structure the product, and we ensure that the right users have access to the right data for the right purpose. But let's remember a modern data strategy, as we mentioned at the beginning, depends on a number of different factors, right? So first of all, you need leaders with the right mindset. Decisions should be made based on the data. You have people, you have processes, and of course, technology is another piece of it. So Datazone is designed with these principles in mind, but you still need to work on setting the right mindset, the data-driven culture in order to be successful.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a trick question there, right? Because it's something that we've been talking about a lot with this channel is you really can't buy data mesh or a data marketplace or this modern data community concept, right? There's, again, technology is an enabler like Amazon Data Zone, but it goes back to having that mindset, that people and processes in place in order to really enable that way of thinking and a way of utilizing data to benefit those business outcomes that you're looking to go after. Um, so you provided us a lot of information here. How can viewers of this channel learn more about some of the things that you discussed today?
Well, I will encourage you, first of all, to read more about DataZone on the AWS Big Data blog. I will provide some links that you can put out there. And there you can find how customers are using the product. For instance, customers like the Volkswagen Group or the Airline Ticketing Corporation. They both are using DataZone to democratize access to data and build this kind of internal data marketplace. So these are just two examples, right? It's always nice, and you learn a lot just from reading about how other customers are doing stuff. The other thing is, if you want to play with DataZone, we have a free trial, which provides 50 users for up to 3 months. And there's a pretty good getting started guide. So we will provide links for that as well. And last but not least, take a look at the DataZone video playlist in YouTube. You can see it in actions. We have demos. We have a ton of capabilities that we are adding to the product. So for instance, data lineage, you mentioned that is something that our customers love. And it provides a lot of value also in terms of, when you're talking about regulations, it helps a lot. So yeah, there you have three ways that you can learn more.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll be sure to put all of that information in the description below so that our viewers, that you all that are watching, can see some of those implementations and how people are using the product. And definitely check out that Volkswagen Group. I actually had a chance to speak with that implementation team, and what was done there was really neat. So Jorge, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the channel and talk about DataZone. I know we have reInvent coming up, so I'm sure there's a lot of exciting things that's going to come out there pertaining to the product and how this product matures over time. So we definitely want to have you back, very soon to kind of talk through some of those things. And to our viewers, be sure again to check out the description below, a lot of the links there, a lot of the relevant information on how you can learn more. And if you haven't already, definitely check out a lot of our previous episodes, right? We had one on data mesh, we had one on modern data community, and a lot of that ties into what we talked about today. All right. So thank you all for joining, and look forward to seeing you again in the next Data Strategy Unraveled episode.